Hi guys, welcome back to the Astrology. Today we are doing the video for the Rahu and Ketu transit, which is happening in the month of May. Now we've done the May monthly reading, and that I had called out specifically that the Rahu Ketu transit is going to be coming into effect on 29th of May. I know there is a lot of talk about 18th of May as the date, but the true transit is happening on 29th of May, where Rahu will be moving into the sign of Aquarius, while Ketu will be getting into the sign of Leo. I'm preparing this video for the sign of Capricorn, which means you can watch this both from a Capricorn rising as well as Capricorn moon perspective. Now guys, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through the impact of Rahu and Ketu's transit for Capricorns. Guys, as you can see on your screen, you have Rahu, which is going to be coming into your second house. It moves in retrograde motion. It will be coming into your second house. It had been placed in the third house itself, whilst Ketu will be moving in from your ninth house to your eighth house. Now, Capricorns, you have to understand that Rahu's placement in third is considered to be one of the most terrific positions to be in. It makes a person extremely confident, vocal, presentable. It brings obnoxious amount of strength, courage. It makes you brave. It makes you bold. It makes you help take decisions that you had not imagined that you would. But once Rahu is transiting into the second house, things are going to be different for you. First and foremost, this Rahu is coming in the sign of Aquarius, which is a good thing because now Rahu is going to be in its own sign. He is considered to be a co-lord, co-owner of this particular sign for that matter. He also tends to do well or associates well with Gemini as well as with Virgo signs. In BPHS as well, it is in the latest version, it is mentioned that there has been ambiguity in which you would consider its exaltation, but he tends to do well in these two houses as well as brings strong results due to his co-ownership of Aquarius as a sign. And thereby it becomes important for you to see that what is the dignity and placement of Mercury in your natal chart as well. However, considering that I do not have that information in this reading and I'm just talking in terms of transits, we have to understand that Rahu's placement in the sign of Aquarius is going to emphasize, it's going to expand on his strengths, which means that there will be an increased amount of desire. There will be an increased magnitude of ambitions, confusion, illusion, thirst, insatiable hunger. And that is what you can anticipate coming into all matters associated to Rahu in your second house. Second house denotes your savings, it denotes your family, it denotes your speech, it denotes the kind of food you consume, it denotes your childhood education for that matter. It denotes your value system to a certain extent as well. And thereby, when Rahu is coming into the second house, you can anticipate that there will be positive outcomes with relation to some of these matters. One thing is for sure, from a material aspect perspective, this Rahu is going to bring an expansion, which means Capricorns, you guys will be on a go to improve on your savings. You would be looking forward to mechanisms in which you can grow your savings more. You can increase your bank balance. Now, would that result into an increase in income? That has to be understood based on the transitory movement, your natal chart in itself, and most importantly, your natal. Emphasizing on that bit, guys, because transit gives you an impact. It's like a messenger magnifies or demagnifies the impact of the dasha system that you're running in. And I don't want to be scaring the shit out of anybody by telling that Rahu coming into the second whilst Ketu coming in eighth is bad news. It necessarily is not. Why? Because Rahu, when he comes into the second house, he's going to bring in materialism to your second house aspects. You will be driven towards making more gains, to be expanding your bank balance for that matter. You would want to save more. But at the same time, It brings certain level of cleverness, shrewdness in your speech. And that shrewdness, if being used in your family. See, the same shrewdness when seen in the third house is considered as an asset for Rahu to be delivering that. But when that shrewdness, that cleverness is coming within the family, the articulation of your words, the choice of words, if it is becoming difficult within the family, then that is a problem. And my friends, you will have to keep a watch on your language in your communication and how you are articulating your thought process within your family at this point in time. Because the risk, given that Rahu and Ketu are in this 2-8 axis, that you will be carrying is that you might communicate something, you might state something during these 18 months, which could be hurtful, which could be decisive for your relationship at your home, with your family members, with your near and dear ones. And to say here, your immediate family. The other bit that you will have to understand is that this Rahu is going to bring interest for you to try different kinds of food. These 18 months, I would not be surprised if related to your job, related to your work, related to your career, profession, family related ceremonies, activities on your in-laws side, on the other side of the spectrum related to your spouse's family, activities related to your profession, career will require you to travel a lot. And whilst you travel, you would be exposed to different kinds of food and you will be very open. You will be at least, I would say, proactively looking forward to explore the possibilities of trying new things. So that's a good bit because I think it is going to bring in a certain level of openness in you. The next thing that is going to happen is that this Rahu is going to promote some degree of basic education, basic knowledge, basic information, and digging about international affairs, about international matters, about international information. Say you are working in Taiwan. I know I have a decent Taiwanese following as well. So you are working out of Taiwan and you want to research basics about how things are run happening in US, how things are happening in Germany. Your curiosity, your interest in terms of exploring possibilities in those areas, in those regions is going to increase. It is also going to bring the possibility of you making a shift with your family to a new place of residence, which is far away from your current residence for that matter. There is a possibility of you bringing a shift, a relocation coming into play to a new foreign location. And whilst you might see that as a pain, because that might be something not very planned from your side, it might not be extremely structured, but over a period of time, you will start appreciating the move that you've made, the decision that you've taken to explore such kind of possibilities. Then this Rahu is also going to bring a heightened increase in you learning new languages. Many of you watching this video will be surprised, but people who are not native English speakers would want to improve on their colloquial communication. People who are following one sort of language, and I'm not promoting any app here, but Duolingo kind of things with my kid uses, those kind of applications, those kind of products would be of interest to you, where you would want to adapt, learn new language, upskill yourself, reskill yourself in newer areas. It is also possible that this may not be reflective in terms of language, but the kind of music you listen to. So there is high possibility that music from a different language, a K-pop culture, a Spanish song might be of deep interest to you. You might want to learn the rhythm of singing something of that sort, of Punjabi song if you're a Hindi or English speaker. So that kind of an interest in terms of appreciating music, appreciating art forms of different cultures, different languages is also going to come into play. You getting in touch with people of different backgrounds, negotiating stuff with people from different cultures is going to be a very strong reason for you to improve on, bank on your savings. Please keep this in mind. So if a situation arises where you have to get into negotiation with somebody that you've not dealt with, some kind of a situation you're not comfortable with, I can tell you it is going to be a positive outcome maker for you. So do not shy away from that. It is always possible that one might be hesitant, but don't resist that deeply. Then the aspects of Rahu are coming into your 6th house, 8th house, and your 10th house. And you see some of the predictions, some of the suggestions that I'm calling out in the last few minutes, they will start automatically making sense. With Rahu giving an aspect to your sixth house, it is going to form that Shatru Hanta Yog from your sixth house perspective. Not a strong one, LB, but yes, given that Rahu is in Aquarius and he's giving an aspect into the sign of Gemini, it's not a bad situation to be in. This will give you possibilities of looking out for new job opportunities. Now, here is the thing. Do not jump the ship at the first intent itself. I would want you to take your time to find the right opportunity before you make a plunge in that direction. But it may be a good idea for you to explore the possibilities as to what would make sense. And thereby, I would recommend you to consider making a job search during the course of these 18 months. Of course, if you have your natal chart in place, you can analyze your dasha, antar dasha. That will give you a far more clearer possibility. But people who don't believe, they yet will end up making switches. So it might naturally happen to you and you will be realizing that how stars are aligning for you. Then people who are struggling with any kinds of loans, any kind of litigations, divorce related matters related to separation, some kind of legal affairs that have been troubling you for a while, you are going to find significant respite in those areas. Or if not, you are going to find some clever strategies, mechanisms to overcome those situations too. The other bit that is going to be evident is that this is going to be a period where you can anticipate some level of health issues, some level of health trouble. Remember, I keep on saying whenever Rahu comes, he tends to give with one hand and he tends to take away from the other. And that is where things can be tricky from a health perspective that you will have to keep a note of. You will have to figure out as to how you are keeping upkeep to your body, to your mind, to your soul. So please be watchful of that aspect, Capris. It's very important for you. This is also going to be a good period for you to find a certain schedule in your life. I wouldn't be surprised if many of you are emphasizing on smart work over hard work, Capricorns. That's not your style. That's not how you roll, but that is what is going to be happening with Rahu's placement in your second house. Then giving an aspect to the eighth is going to give some triggers with respect to hidden affairs, hidden matters. And when we come to Ketu, I will deeply emphasize on that matter, but I would urge you to immerse yourself in learning something new. See, I did allude to this point. A person living in Taiwan might want to research something about US. That research example was one angle, just one perspective. You have to see that what areas you would want to find your interest in and do a double click in that area. It will give you positive outcomes, it will give you positive results, and it may not be a bad idea for you to explore anything in that direction. Then the other bit is Rahu's aspect to the 10th. It's a good one because now Rahu is going to bring that level of shrewdness, smartness, cleverness at your work front. I mentioned about you being a smart worker over a hard worker. So guys, this is going to be the period where you will try and emphasize as to how you can use your wit, your knowledge, your expertise to do things in a brief period of time, and maybe leveraging AI. Everybody is talking about it. These days, the entire conversation is about Gen AI, agentic AI, and people who are outside of that world. Guys, it is going to touch you as well. It is going to touch your lives as well. So it may not be a bad idea for you to understand as to how you can explore any kind of use cases in your life, in your career, in your profession. And it can be anything. You are a student watching this video. Are you going to learn something in that direction, research in that direction, and apply to your career? By the way, from a student perspective, I missed calling out that this is going to be a good period, good transit for you to crack any kind of a competitive examination. Just watch out for the transits of Mercury as well, so that it gives you the right opportunity, especially when Mercury is going to be coming into the sign of Gemini or in exaltation in your ninth house. It is going to be extremely good period. That period combined with any efforts in Rahu's direction are going to be very rewarding. Rahu's aspect into the 10th is also promising that success, your interest in those subjects. AI, technology, cybersecurity. Say anything which is related to illusion, anything which is is going to be related to Rahu. And your interest, your pivot in connection to those areas is going to be extremely rewarding. And now when I look into Ketu, Ketu is placed in the sign of Leo in the 8,000. That's a difficult position to be in, but you have to understand he is the co-lord of your 11th house. sign of Scorpio. He does well in the sign of Sagittarius and in the sign of Pisces as well. So he will have some mixed results of those houses as well coming into the 8th house. But it is your desires, your gains, your wish fulfillment which is coming into the 8th house. But remember, Ketu delivers any kind of wishes. He fulfills your objectives and goals when you are least anticipating, least expecting, least attached to them. Because he talks about liberation, he talks about detachment. He is all about process. How are you immersed into it? How well or deeply entrenched are you into that entire journey? Not about the destination. And that is what this Ketu is going to urge you to do. He is moving 10 places away into the 8th house. So your gains, your wish fulfillment are going to be accomplished when you are immersed into learning something deep, into exercising your knowledge, your interest, your time, your effort, your energy in isolation. When you are researching about something, it is going to be an excellent time, opportune time for people to learn subjects like astrology, to get into research related affairs, to get into nanotechnology, biotechnology, microscopic aspects of learning, of education are going to be extremely fruitful during this phase. It is also going to be about the skies. So if you are learning to, let's say, fly an airjet, an aircraft, if you are planning to learn the martial arts, if you are planning to learn yoga, if you are planning to learn something which is spiritual by nature, something which uplifts your mind, if you are looking forward to associate yourself into some sort of a religious practice, tantra, mantra knowledge during this period is going to be very rewarding. And I will urge you guys, Capricorns, this is a period. In fact, in my previous video, I think Aquarius or Pisces, I was sharing this bit. A lot of you have messaged me, pinged me. There are so many of you have shown interest in terms of me running a course. I've not made up my mind yet, guys, because it is a huge commitment. Because if I commit to something, then I would want to stick to it. So something of that sort is what you want to embark upon. This is going to be the period. These 1.5 years are going to be a period where you are going to embark on that journey and find success in that area. Then this is also going to be a stupendous period for you to make connections with some powerful people in the community, in the society. People from the government organizations, people who are in high positions, designations, in multinational corporations, in government organizations, in powerful companies, so to speak. People who are working in powerful institutions. Even if you are a student watching this video, you should consider making a connection with the chancellor, with the vice chancellor of your university, something of that sort, with a director of your university, and constantly being in touch, trying to understand, get ideas from such a senior person. Because Ketu is flag as well, guys. Remember this. And he's sitting in the sign of Leo. But there's a risk of getting reprimanded. If you've not had the right karmas, if you've, say, blundering in taxes, Capricorns, this is going to be a period where you might get reprimanded by the top in the society, especially when Sun is going to be coming and landing into the sign of Leo. So that is the period where you will have to be extremely careful, because the conjunction of Sun and Ketu, that too in the 8,000, then even Mars, which is going to be forming the conjunction for you guys in the 8th house in the month of June. These are the periods where you'll have to be a little watchful, because your interest towards hidden matters, towards not so great matters can also increase. Ones that are not considered positively or taken in a positive light in the community, in the society, can also increase. And if that happens, Capris, it's not going to be one of the best things that you would want to discuss. The reason is it can bring in, even Ketu, Rahu can bring in affliction, can bring in interest towards criminal activities in life. And that can be detrimental. And that is where I would want you guys to please keep a watch, because this Ketu can pull you in that direction as well. However, there are a few beautiful things that are happening with this Ketu. He is one, giving an aspect into the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a sign which is going to get aspects from the other planets as well. For example, Jupiter is going to come there, and he is also going to be giving an aspect into the sign of Sagittarius. Then Saturn which is currently placed in your third house, will also be giving an aspect into the sinus. And we'll get into those kind of nitty-gritties and details during our monthly readings as well. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that Ketu's aspect here is going to bring that level of interest in your mind towards practicing spirituality. Planet sitting in the 8th and giving an aspect into the 12th house. Then this Ketu is going to try and take you away from unnecessary expenses. As long as the expenses are in the direction of spirituality, you will be comfortable and be okay with it. But rest, everything you would want to cut as a matter of fact. Even though Jupiter would try and raise it. Because see, he is in a way supporting the activity that Rahu is doing. Rahu wants to amplify savings. Rahu is giving up aspect to the 6th house and the 10th house to make sure that you do well at your work. You get those promotions, you get those hikes that you've been anticipating and increase on your savings. But the other way around is that Ketu tells you to curtail on the expenses that are anticipated that could come your way. And that is where it will become like a cohesive working mechanism of this axis in 2 and 8. But at the same time, Ketu is also going to give an aspect to the 2nd house. And that is where I keep reminding you guys that it is not just about money, because Ketu is about the spiritual, the non-material aspect of things. And he is going to probably cause some issues with respect to your communication, with respect to your interaction, with respect to your association in your family. So you will have to be watchful that you are not creating a ruckus on that front. And that is not easy because he is giving an aspect to your 4th house too, where he is going to be creating some lack of mental peace, some lack of emotion. This doesn't mean that Ketu is not going to allow you to expand on your assets. But lack of emotional and mental peace is a high probability. It also gives the probability of you traveling away from your current home, moving away from your current home, your current residence. And that is what I was alluding to whilst I was talking from a Rahu perspective as well, few minutes back in this video itself. So you will have to understand that some sort of a shift, change in residence. If nothing, you guys might change your room. You might change your bedroom and start sleeping from one room to another in your same house. But that change is inevitable during this time. You will change your rooms. You would want to shuffle around in your 4-bedroom house. You might want to shift from the ground floor to the first or vice versa, or try and do some experiments. You would want to have a different sleeping pattern. Sleep could be disturbed, by the way, for you guys. That could be challenging. You will have trouble sleeping. Rest will not be easy. It will be difficult during this time. Even though you'd be seeking shortcuts, or more so because you would be seeking shortcuts, rest would be difficult to achieve for you folks. But all in all, Capricorns, this is going to be the 18-month period which is going to give you an opportunity to do well on the material aspects of things. It will help you to do well on your savings, on your money front. There is a possibility that there could be matters related to will, matters related to inheritance. You may or may not show interest. Depending on your natal chart, I cannot give a confirmed answer on that based on transit itself. Health-wise, you will have to keep a check on yourself, folks. This is going to be extremely important. Ketu is in 8th. Rahu is giving an aspect to the 6th. It is going to be crucial. And the aspects are coming into the 12th house as well. So health is going to be extremely important. I was emphasizing this for the Pisces readings as well. It is going to be a good period for you to crack any kind of competitive examinations. It is going to be a mixed period with respect to relationships. There could be challenges that you might face with respect to relationships. And yes, there is a possibility on doing well as well. See, because Rahu is going to make you clever. You might know the exact set of words you need to use, you need to state within your family for them to feel comfortable around you. And then this is going to be a very good period for you to learn new topics, learn new subjects, expand on your knowledge in itself. This is going to be a period that will give you the possibility of making a shift, moving away, change of residence, expansion with respect to your career, expansion with respect to your education, any kind of goals, objectives, targets that you have in mind, as long as you are focused towards the process, as long as you are enjoying the journey, destination will be achieved. That is a promise. This transit is not going to hurt you on that front. It is going to come after a turbulence. It is going to come after a test. It is going to come after you prove your mettle, you prove your worth. It's going to be an interesting shift, guys, and I hope that my Capri friends rise and shine during this period. If you have any questions regarding your own chart, if you want to get an analysis done, feel free to reach out. You can ping me on Insta on a direct DM, or you can reach out to the email which keeps on flashing during the course of the videos. And most importantly, if you've enjoyed this video, then you must smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.